Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spoil Your Appetite. I'm Tristan. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I know I am. I just saw a couple movies in the theater. I'll get more into that in just a bit. But yeah, I'm very happy because just got back from the movies, and yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, let's just dive into it, shall we? A little sad news. I figure we just get this one over with because this one, it's not going to be fun to talk about, honestly. And I'm sure you all know what I'm about to talk about, and that is Chadwick Boseman passes away at 43 due to colon cancer. I was playing video games when my friend texted me Black Panther died, and I was like, what? And I immediately thought she was talking about something that happened in the comics, that Black Panther died. And then that was my first reaction. But then I was like, oh no, don't you dare tell me Chadwick Boseman passed away. And sure enough, get on Twitter and Chadwick Boseman was just trending, and it was just, everything just stopped for a second. Like, the world just sort of just stopped for a second. And just, like many others, I just felt awful and horrible. And it just came out of nowhere, you know? It's one of those stories, those celebrity deaths that just come out of nowhere. And it's just like, I don't even know what to say, you know? I mean, my introduction to Chadwick Boseman was, of course, like, I'm sure like many others, basically his role as T'Challa, King T'Challa, aka Black Panther in Captain America Civil War, and I can't get over it. And, you know, he would later on play the character again in his own standalone movie, Black Panther, and then Infinity War and Endgame, and now he's gone. And at 43 too, man, like, that's just way too young to go, you know? And the fact that he was battling colon cancer, and, you know, he kept very private and still continued to make movies even when he was suffering. It's just like, fuck, you know, that's, what a trooper, like, what a real hero to keep going even against the odds. And just, I condolences go out to the family and friends and anybody that ever worked with him. And, you know, the fans, we're all gonna suffer. And, you know, it's just, you know, it wasn't until I always knew Black Panther was a big thing. You know, I'm totally in the belief of, like, representation does really matter. You know, I firmly believe that. And, you know, for me, it really gets my blood going when, you know, comic book fans particularly are just like, you know, or just regular people on the notion who are just like, oh, they're just doing this just to be SJW, and just like, no, like, don't you understand? Like, we're talking about the comics. Like, you could, you know, all these ethnic characters in the comics, why wouldn't you do this? Like, why wouldn't you bring it to the big screen, especially if you're in the MCU? And the fact that, you know, in the MCU at least, especially now, we're getting into unknown territory where, you know, they're going to characters that, you know, people, I mean, the average comic book fan probably wouldn't know, like a Shang-Chi or the Eternals or many other characters. And, you know, and the fact that Black Panther was that first movie to feature just an entire black cast, you know, it was just incredible. And the fact that Chadwick Boseman was the leading face, you know, of representing, you know, having young kids look up to Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, and, you know, just finally seeing theirself on the big screen or whatever. And look, there's always been other movies that do feature black characters. I mean, I know we had Blade and whatnot, but I can't remember. I can't recall the last person of color comic book movie. Honestly, I can't really recall it. Maybe we had shows or whatever, but Black Panther, man, I remember when that was coming out, and I was very excited because to me, I remember when Civil War was coming out, I was thoroughly hella excited to see Black Panther, and before we even got any trailers or anything from the movie, when I heard Black Panther was being introduced, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, that's pretty awesome. And and then they announced, oh, we're gonna have Spider-Man in it or whatever, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And for me, when that first trailer dropped and I believe we did see Black Panther for the first time, and dude, I was like, dude, of the 2 new characters they're gonna introduce, I'm fucking thrilled to see Black Panther more than anything, because he looks like an unstoppable force in this movie. And and sure enough, when the movie came out, he stood out more so than Spider-Man, and I was just like, I was so blown away and taken away that I was like, I seriously cannot wait to see this guy come back as Black Panther. And dude, the hype was amazing. Like, as a white guy, seeing black people and other ethnicities, like, just being excited to see a Black Panther movie and all this hype, and I was just like, it made me feel great, because I was like, it's so nice to have people who black people and other ethnicities finally getting this moment of like, I've now seen myself on the screen, and I couldn't be more happy about that, because again, I'm in the firm belief of representation does really matter. It means a lot to people. I mean, God, we've had so many white leading comic book movies or whatever, and it's just like, it's just amazing how how very little we've gotten with black leads and whatnot in the comic book movies, in the comic book genre at least. And the fact that Chadwick Boseman was that face for kids who have grown up with the MCU, and now that their first like black lead is Black Panther with Chadwick Boseman in the role, like, that's a beautiful thing, honestly. I can't even imagine the kids who are fans of the MCU Black Panther and hearing this. I mean, I've seen a couple photos where kids are paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman, just doing the Wakanda Forever pose and just having tears in their eyes, and it's just like, fuck, man. Like, it's heartbreaking. And again, 43, man, like 43. I can't even believe it. But yeah, I don't even know where to go. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, and you know what? Since we're on the topic, you know what? I'll say it. I Screen Rant. Screen Rant had an article that basically was like, who could replace Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther? And I'm just like, dude, too fucking soon. Way too fucking soon. Very inappropriate. And, they apologized, but I was like, how do you fucking post this and not have somebody in the editorial room be like, no, let's not do this. This isn't appropriate. Like, oh my God, fuck that. Fuck Screen Rant for that situation. Like, seriously. But anyways, Chadwick Boseman, I mean, if you want to see him in anything else, see him in 42. See him in the Jackie Robinson. 42. Jackie Brown. Wait, God, I'm Jackie Robinson. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit emotional just right here. But yeah, 42. Jackie Robinson. He plays him in the biopic, and he also plays who was it? James Brown in another movie, and it's just like, it's amazing because I believe 42, where he portrays Jackie Robinson, is his first big breakout role. I don't know if he did anything before else, but like, dude, I can't even, like, he was going to do big things. Like, I think we all knew he was an incredible actor. And, you know, for what he was given in The Five Bloods on Netflix, he was great. You could tell this man was going to be one of the great actors of all time, you know, and it's just heartbreaking, you know. I feel for everyone that looked up to Chadwick Boseman as that character, you know. I feel for them, and, you know, it's painful, it's awful, and seeing the MCU castmates giving out their condolences and whatnot is just like, it's horrible, and I don't even know what to say. And, you know, it's just like, you know, he was, again, you know, he was just the face for all, you know, for every black person that ever wanted to see themselves on the big screen in that MCU way. And, you know, it's just, it's incredible. And I cannot believe he's gone. And, you know, this will forever hurt. Like, it just, because, you know, seeing Black Panther in the theater, and I'm pretty sure when I first saw it opening night, I was probably the only white guy in the auditorium. And this was a packed house, like, literally had everybody everywhere. And just that vibe that, you know, Ryan Coogler brought to that movie, and, you know, Chadwick Boseman bringing it in the title role, like, he was amazing. And just that whole environment. And, you know, I also love that Jimmy Fallon video that was released where, you know, people were basically doing they were leaving a voice/video message for Chadwick Boseman. And, you know, Chadwick Boseman is behind the curtain, and he comes out and surprises the fans. And, you know, hearing those fans, you know, pouring out their feelings of, you know, what it means to see, you know, a big blockbuster movie, like a big blockbuster Marvel movie that features an entire black cast and whatnot, and just what it meant to them. And it's just like, God, I'll never know that experience, because, you know, again, I'm a white guy. I've seen myself in these characters with Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, the X-Men, all of them just white people. And, you know, I'll never know what that's like to, like, be on that side. And, you know, I feel for them, and it's just like, you know, I don't know. And, you know, Chadwick Boseman just gone at 43 really sucks, you know. It's just horrible. And, yeah, it's just really speechless, honestly. It's just, you just don't know what to say. Like, you're just like, oh my God, like, way too soon, way too goddamn soon, honestly. And, yeah, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Wakanda forever, rest in power. And sleep well, King. Like, you were the greatest. You were taken away from this world way too soon, but for what you have given us, you were one of the greats. And you will definitely be missed. And fuck, yeah. Sleep well, King. You deserve it. But yeah. Anyways, I'll try and brighten up the mood after that. So I saw some movies this past weekend or week. So my local Regal Theater has been open since last weekend, and last weekend I believe I did go see some classic movies. The first being The Goonies, which I didn't really want to see, but my friend did. And so we saw it, and I'll be honest, seeing The Goonies on the big screen was weird. Like, I can't remember the last time I watched The Goonies before before I saw it on the big screen. I can't remember the last time I saw it, but it was strange. It was a strange feeling because after 15 minutes of the movie, I'm just like, okay, is it over? Like, you know, I like that it's just kids being kids and going on this adventure, but I'm just like, they're kind of annoying, honestly, and it was strange, you know. But yeah, that was just me. Another movie I saw last week was Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven, and wow, I can't remember. I think I saw that movie like 7 years ago, and you know, I very much loved it then. And I wouldn't say it's definitely a movie you gotta see in the theater, because I mean, it's just like it looks great. It's a great story, and yeah, it can be slow. It's not. It's one of the last great westerns, and it was great. And then finally on that Sunday, I saw The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars. Oh my god, it was a very exciting thrill. It was fun to see a classic Star Wars movie on the big screen, especially Empire Strikes Back. And you know, it's just, and I've seen that movie so many times, but to see it on the big screen was really special. And man, that John Williams score just hits like crazy. And after that movie, I was just like, I really wanted to go up to one of the workers at Regal and be like, hey, can you guys put on Return of the Jedi? Because it was great, you know, it was really great. So, but yeah, this past weekend, the classic movies that I saw Inception, which, man, Inception is a great example of certain movies are just made to be seen on the big screen and not just a computer desk screen or a big, large, flat screen TV. Like, I don't care how good of a surround sound you have, nothing beats the movie theater experience. And to see Inception again after 10 years, like, I can't remember the last time I saw Inception. I would say it's definitely on TV, and I guess the years have gone on. I've come to the notion that, you know, Inception I can't watch Inception on a regular screen. I haven't seen the theater. And so when the Regal announced, hey, we're going to show Inception, you know, because apparently this movie is 10 years old, and fuck, I think the best part about it was I took a friend to go see Inception who had never seen Inception at all, and her reaction was great. She said it was very tense, her anxiety was very high, and she was getting the feels. And you know, that's the kind of stuff I love when I watch movies. I love watching movies with friends who have never seen a movie before that I love the most, and they're just like, their mind is blown. And this is the same friend who I showed John Wick for the first time like a couple weeks ago, and you know, seeing her reaction after I told her, no, John Wick's dog doesn't die. And when the dog died, she was like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? I'm just like, I had to see your reaction. And, you know, going forward, it was so great. Her excitement when John Wick is killing a bunch of motherfuckers. But, yeah, Inception. What is there to say about it after 10 years? It's, again, like I said, it is a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen to fully appreciate it. You know, the visuals are great, and that's what really sells it, because it's just like the visuals don't work on a regular screen. That doesn't work at all. But it's just that idea of dreams within dreams, and it's great. Every character is amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio's character is great, and you know, it's been a long time since I've seen Inception, and so there were things I totally forgot about, like the totem, how they determine if they're still in a dream or whatever. Only the person that has a totem will know what it is. So Leonardo DiCaprio's totem is a spinner. Well, that was more of his wife's, and then you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who has a dice or whatever. And you know, I would love to see how that works for him or whatever. But hey, whatever. And so Ellen Page has a a chess piece for her. And it's really great. And, you know, it's basically a heist movie. And I forget that the basic plot is basically there's this guy from one company who wants Leonardo DiCaprio to get the number one corporation in the world to step down because the father is so old he's going to die and going to leave everything to his son or whatever, and he wants the son to, like, you know, give it all up or whatever. And so they gotta plant an idea in his head and all this stuff, and it's just like, and if that goes successful, Leonardo DiCaprio's character can go home and see his kids after he was not framed, but basically, you know, blamed for, framed would be the better word. Yeah, framed for supposedly killing his wife, which is a whole nother story that is just great. And, you know, I'm still baffled that this movie even exists, because it's like, I would have loved to have been there. I would have loved to be in there, invisible, to hear this pitch, you know, because, I mean, because, you know, you don't get this movie without The Dark Knight. You know, if The Dark Knight didn't exist, this movie would have never happened, and god damn it. It's incredible. It's really incredible. It's thrilling. When shit goes down, and it's great. And, you know, I asked my friend who I took with me, I asked her if she was ever lost in the movie, and she said no, she was never lost, because they explain a lot. And, you know, for me, being reintroduced to all this exposition and whatnot, it was kind of I was kind of like, oh wait, so we're in his dream, and he's teaching her how to do this, and it was just, that was the only thing I had trouble with, because I was like, okay, I know when we get to at least the third act, I guess we could say, you know, it's all about Cillian Murphy's character. They're all going to go in his dream and whatnot. But yeah, it was just more of the training that kind of confused me a bit, of who's in what dream or whatever. But anyways, it's a very human, very personal movie for Leo DiCaprio's character. And god damn it, it's really wonderful. And again, there are moments where I totally forgot about, and I totally forgot that Leonardo DiCaprio's character was the one that did Inception for the first time, but he did it on his wife, to the point where she went crazy, and she's like, we have to wake up, we have to go to our children, and kills herself. And it's just like, Jesus, it's something else. Also, another thing that I really noticed was the fact that Tom Hardy's character is really gay as can be. Like, he's so flamboyant, it's crazy. And I'm just like, I've come to the conclusion that, yeah, I think Tom Hardy's character is really gay. I mean, he especially has the hots for Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, and it's like, it's subtle, but it's pretty amazing, honestly. And yeah, I love Inception. You know, I'm one of these days I'm gonna have to make a top 10 of my favorite movies of all time, because I believe Inception would be on that list, especially after seeing it again on the big screen after 10 years later, because I believe I did see it in the theater. Might have seen it in the IMAX. I'm not entirely sure, but to see it again 10 years later, I love it. I appreciate it even more now. It's just incredible, and I love it. But yeah, that's one of the movies that I did see. So another movie I saw when I literally just got back from seeing it was another Christopher Nolan movie, The Dark Knight. I've seen The Dark Knight so many times. When it comes to the theater, I've only seen it once, and that was when it came out. And, you know, I remember seeing it for the first time, and what I really remember was coming back, and I went with my dad, because me and my dad would always go to the movie theaters and whatnot. and we would always go see a movie. Every time he came and got me, we went to go see movies. And I remember when he came back to drop me off at my mom's or whatever, he was basically telling my mom about the whole movie or whatever. And I remember specifically about how my dad goes, yeah, Heath Ledger as Joker, you could never tell it was him. And yeah, man, like, let me tell you, after seeing it again, it's something. I mean, I don't know if I can say that this is just one of those movies that I can only see in the theater. I'm not going to go that far. I don't think I can say that, because I can still watch it on a regular screen. I mean, granted, it looks fucking amazing on the big screen. Like, I think it specifically, the cinematography stands out more than ever on the big screen than it does on a regular screen, because it's just so large and, like, it's shot beautifully and it's great. And, you know, I can't remember the last time I saw The Dark Knight on just a regular screen or anything, but fuck, it's no wonder this is the best Batman movie ever. You know, a lot of people say it's the best Batman movie ever, and I agree 100%. You know, there's really, again, after watching it, I'm like, there's really nothing in here that I wouldn't take out. Like, everything just works for me, you know, whether it's the whole, that one coworker who finds out these little files from Wayne Enterprise, who's working in Wayne Enterprises, and looks at all these files and is like, I know the true identity of Batman or whatever, and he's basically gonna blackmail, well, more Lucius Fox is like, you're really gonna blackmail Bruce Wayne or whatever? Good luck. But yeah, it's moments like that, and you know, it's a crime thriller, and it's really great. You know, there's really nothing well, if there's any issues, they're just small nitpicks, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about them, but for me, my nitpicks are just basically, you know, I don't like the design of the new Batsuit, and I don't like the design of the Joker, but never does it take me out. Never do those designs ever take me out of the movie. Plus, I understand why they went with those designs. They're going for a more realistic approach to it and whatnot. You know, it is what it is. And you know what? I can't blame them for it, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's something new. I can appreciate in that aspect, but for me, the design is just like, not for me, but hey, I appreciate it for being something new. And yeah, if anything else that this movie proves, I firmly believe, you know, like with many other people, including my friend Brittany Taylor, Heath Ledger as the Joker, man, like, that, he is the best. Heath Ledger's Joker is the best live-action Joker we've seen on screen. I mean, does Joaquin Phoenix come second? Yeah. I think what makes Heath Ledger's Joker better than Joaquin Phoenix is just that, for starters, the whole, like, you don't know where he came from. You don't really know his origin at all. He just shows up and causes crazy chaos, and his unpredictability. You know, I've seen it before. I mean, we've all seen this movie so many times before, but it's just really that unpredictability that even the main characters can't decide, like, what's he gonna do next. We don't know what he's gonna do next. Like, we don't know his motive. We don't know anything. All he wants to do is just see the world burn, as, you know, Alfred says in this movie. And yeah, he's just amazing in it. And, you know, there's that one great scene that, you know, has been talked about so many times, when the Joker's blowing up all the hospital basically, and there's that moment where, you know, the last bomb doesn't go off, and that was just improvised. And, you know, it's so damn great. And yeah, it's just great. I loved it so much, and I can't, like, he is the best Joker, like, ever. I mean, again, I don't think there'll ever be any actor that could, or any writer that can top Heath Ledger's performance at all. Like, I just don't think, that Joker in that movie is just amazing, and Heath Ledger does one fucking hell of a job. And, it even does blow my mind that The Dark Knight never got a Best Picture nomination. Granted, that was a time where they only had, 8 nominees or so? And, yeah, it's just crazy. But at least Heath Ledger won the award because, again, there's this notion that, he just won it because he died or whatever. It's like, no, dude, like, someone winning an Oscar, nominated or not, if you're nominated for an Oscar, to me that says, the people that nominated these nominees or whatever, however they come up with the nominees, basically to me says that these people who make these nominees are looking for performances that, are roles that, these actors and actresses blend in that you can't really see themselves. And so I believe, Heath Ledger got that nomination and won that just because you couldn't tell it was him and that he was just so inserted into that character you couldn't even tell it was him, like my father said. So I firmly believe that's why he got the win. And you know what? Hella deserved it. He fucking deserved it. Because, man, after seeing it again, I'm just like, God damn. Is he like... He's just fun to fucking watch. And just to see how his mind operates. And how he just wants to see chaos. And, like, that great scene where he's telling Harvey Dent where he's just like, if I do this, no, everybody doesn't really bat an eye. But if I, threaten to kill the mayor, everybody just loses their fucking mind. And just, him basically saying, people tend to pick and choose who they should care about. And it's just great. Honestly, it's really amazing. You know what else is pretty fucking amazing? Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent / Two-Face. Like, you totally get he's doing what he feels is right. He's doing it by the law. And, seeing this Batman character, he's a little iffy, but then he warms up to him after the Batman brings the guy from Hong Kong to them, and he just opens up to it until he loses Rachel Dawes, and he just fucking snaps. And, and the Joker basically pushes him to furthermore of like his hatred, kind of just blames everybody, and it's just like, look, there's no saving criminals or whatever. There's just no hope. This world is just fucking hopeless, and he is fucking phenomenal. I'm surprised nobody talks about Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent as they do, like, Heath Ledger as the Joker, because I just feel like, okay, if we're going to talk about performances, Heath Ledger, Aaron Eckhart, and then Christian Bale, like, like, he's just so great in it. And you know what's also great about this? It's like, it's an adaptation. And, like, to me, like, look, for me personally, I feel like Ben Affleck is the best Batman out there just because of that sense of, like, when he's out of the suit, he's still Batman. With The Dark Knight, it's more of going for a realistic approach to it, Bruce Wayne wants to do justice, he wants to bring justice, but he's not like, what's it called? He doesn't have that thrill or need or whatever. He just does it because he just feels it just needs to be done, I guess. And never, when he's out of the suit, yeah, he feels like Bruce Wayne, but when he's in the suit, he's Batman. But it doesn't always feel like, this Bruce Wayne is always Batman or whatever. But it doesn't matter because I love this movie because of the fact that it's a realistic approach. There's just so much emotion going into it, like the death of Rachel Dawes and, Bruce Wayne just being like, she was going to wait for me, once I finally hung it all up. And, Alfred just grabbing that letter and just basically burning it because ultimately, Rachel Dawes is like, I'm going to marry Harvey Dent. And so Alfred just knew that would just break Bruce Wayne, especially right now, you know, in that moment at least. And damn, it's very human, you know. It's a very human when it comes to the Bruce Wayne character in these movies, and I fucking love it for that. And it's just, I don't think it'll get any more realistic than what the Dark Knight does, you know. I just don't think it'll get more real than this, you know. Like I had a coworker once say, you know, who doesn't even really watch anything with Batman live action, at least, because he basically said, you know, I think after the Dark Knight trilogy, I think I've seen it all. Like, I don't think it'll get any better, and nor do I need to see anything else, because it will never be better than that trilogy. And, you know, I don't blame him. But yeah, the Dark Knight was great to see. And you know what, even though, again, going to nitpick again, the one thing I don't like about these movies is the fight choreography. It's just a bunch of elbows and slow punches or whatever, you know. That's why I always appreciated Batfleck and, you know, Robert Pattinson, which I will talk about later, is, you know, those two, Affleck and Pattinson, are just like, they move quickly. Like, they're very fierce and they just move quickly. Whereas with Bale's, it's very elbows, sort of slow, turning or whatever. And it's just like, I get it, you know. But ultimately, it's not about that, you know, honestly. Like, yes, we love seeing Batman kick ass and all kinds of stuff, but it's just more about the plot and that crime thrilling and whatnot. It's really great. And, you know, but I will say, you know, when the fight scenes went down, oh my god, was it so amazing to hear the vicious, like, punching sound effects. Oh my god, was it great. I fucking dug it a lot. But yeah, the Dark Knight, after seeing it again in the theater 12 years later, my god, it's still gonna hold up. Like, I never went into it thinking, oh, is this gonna hold up? No, it's gonna hold up because it's something new, and this was very much, I think this was definitely the first, I believe it was the first comic book movie to, like, basically flip the genre on its head because of how realistic it went. You know, it was all about, it was a crime thriller, and, you know, Joker's ideology, and, you know, just trying to prove that, you know, human beings can be shitty too. Well, at least at the very end of the movie or whatever, that he's trying to prove that point. And then, I think my favorite moment in this whole movie is, well, there's two. But I want to say my favorite moment is, of course, that Wayne hosting a party for Harvey Dent, his campaign or whatever. And, you know, Joker shows up looking for him. And then Joker sees Rachel Dawes, and it's just kind of about to, like, basically hurt her, basically, after, you know, she punches him in the gut. And he goes, you know, little fight in you, I like that. And then you just hear Batman off screen saying, then you're gonna love me, and just thud. Like, oh my god, such a great moment. Another favorite moment of mine is definitely is at the end, where Joker again asks, you know, somebody, you want to know how I got these scars? And Batman is just like, no, but I know how you got these, and just tosses him off and saves him, of course. I just love that. It's just little moments like that really get me when it comes to comic book movies. But yeah, The Dark Knight, man. 12 years later, woo-wee. Fuck, was it great to see it. And oh my god, that Hans Zimmer score. Fuck. Such a great score. Holy shit. Like, I firmly believe, I want to say that Dark Knight is Hans Zimmer's best composing, like, for a movie ever, of all time. It's just great. Really, really, you know, definitely uplifts the scenes in the movie. So yeah. So DC Fandome happened this past last week at least, and I want to talk about some shit. I want to talk about some stuff. Let's start with the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. Not much to talk about other than speculating. It seems like Maxwell Lord, portrayed by Pedro Pascal, is the President of the United States. And, okay, very interesting. We got our first look at Cheetah, which, hey, I'm all for it. By the end of the day, I know we're just going to see this at the very end of the movie because I can tell. I just feel like, yeah, we're only going to see this at the very end of the movie. And, hey, I'm for it. I don't care. And I think it looks great. Can't wait to see what Kristen Wiig does with the Cheetah character. I'm more excited for that. But I think I'm also more intrigued by Pedro Pascal's Maxwell Lord. I'm just like, okay, what's he up to? What's his endgame, if you will? So yeah, the trailer looks great. I can't believe it's actually going to happen in 2 months. I believe it's coming out in October. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not crazy for it or anything, even though I did like the first Wonder Woman lot, except for, could have used more Ares, but hey, whatever. But yeah, 1984 Wonder Woman. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I guess we alright, let's talk about the teaser for Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's really nothing much to talk about here, I believe. I just feel like, okay, so here's a bunch of scenes we've never seen that. First shot, Darkseid, and I'm like, I dig it, even though I'm just like, I just would love to see more armor, but hey, I get it. That shot is set in the past. I get it. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. And then we see a bunch of images, bunch of footage we've never seen before. It's just interesting. But at the end of the teaser, I just felt like that's it? ? Because me, I've said this on the show before that as far as a Zack Snyder Justice League cut, I never really campaigned for it at all. I might have been one of those people that didn't think it existed, but as time went on, after seeing, Zack Snyder posting all these photos of, screenshots of his cut or whatever, it's like, okay, there is a cut, but maybe, yeah, there's a cut, but I guess not all the, the visual effects and everything is, finished or whatever. But, yeah, so I would say more than anything else, yeah, the teaser didn't really do anything for me. I didn't really get all that excited. Not even seeing, Henry Cavill in the black suit, Superman suit or whatever. Because I'm like, it's just a black suit. I get this. I get the symbolism for it. I get the reference and all. Then again, I wasn't a fan of the Death of Superman comic to begin with, so I wouldn't care. But I still love the suit in the comics, but I'm just like, who the fuck cares? It's just a black suit. But hey, if this means I can see more Henry Cavill as Superman, I'm fucking for it. I'll fucking see it. Because I never, ever announced that, Henry Cavill was coming back as Superman. Hence, until then, I'll fucking take this Zack Snyder, Justice League cut or whatever. I'll take it. I don't care. But yeah, the teaser really didn't do anything for me, and plus it's it's the same plot basically. Steppenwolf trying to get all these mother boxes to bring Darkseid's army and all this business, and it's just it's the same plot, but we're just gonna see a bunch of new footage that's never been released before, and it's gonna be 4 fucking hours, which that was rumored for a long time, but now that's confirmed. It's oh fuck. But supposedly it's going to be split up into 4 parts. But then again, I saw something else that said, yay, you can split it up to 4 parts, or you can just watch it all in one sitting. Which I'm like, okay, so basically, after hearing it's going to be 4 hours, basically I've concluded that, oh, so there's really no limits to what Zack Snyder can and can't do. He's just basically going to throw everything that he shot for the movie and just put it all together. Okay, so yeah, so much for that. I mean, because you would think, because when it comes to movies, you know, when you shoot everything, there's going to be some stuff you got to cut out. And the fact that it feels like Zack Snyder's not really going to cut out anything, he's just going to throw everything that he shot in for the movie into one continuous movie. Okay, I mean, I hope it flows well. I hope it doesn't deviate from the main plot, I guess. But we'll have to wait and see. But hey, I'll still see it, you know. Much like the Joel Schumacher Batman Forever cut. Don't want it. I mean, never campaigned for it, but, you know, if it exists, I'll see it. And so that's how I'm feeling with the teaser for Snyder's Justice League. And, you know, all I gotta say is I'm happy for the people that campaigned for this. I imagine they're losing their fucking minds. And, you know, hey, I know some of you guys are a bit, like, very hostile when it comes to loving Snyder's DC movies and all. But, you know, I appreciate the ones that are not as toxic or whatever. But, hey, we all win at the end of the day. We're all going to see this. And so it's going to be interesting. So let's talk about some games, some DC games, if we will. So WB Montreal reveals Gotham Knights. Basically, the basic premise is basically Batman is dead for reasons unknown, and it's up to the Bat family, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Batgirl, and Dick Grayson. And they gotta protect Gotham City from who knows what. It might be the Court of Owls, it might be somebody else, we just don't know. And I gotta be honest, the cinematic trailer was pretty cool. I very much dug it. And then we got 15 minutes of gameplay, and that's where I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, first of all, the look of it, you know, I know it's not finished and all, but the look of it, it's kind of hit and miss for me. I'm like, I like the designs, but something just kind of feels off to me, and I'm not sure what it is. And maybe it is because of the fact that this isn't fully finished and fleshed out or whatever, but there was something that I just wasn't, you know, the designs look great, but I'm just like, something looks wonky and I'm not sure what it is. I kind of felt like, oh, kind of looks like Arkham Origins, and I kind of don't like that at all, but whatever. But anyways, the gameplay, I like the fact that they're saying, you know, if you're familiar with the Arkham games, shouldn't be too difficult, but it's not the same formula and whatnot. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And they finally, when they showed that in the gameplay footage, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This just feels so weird. Like, I think what I'm really hung up on it is the fact that you see the enemies, like, full health bar. And I'm not talking about the boss battle, but, like, talking about just regular enemies, and you're just punching, you see their health go down, and you also see the numbers of damage you're doing. I'm just like, I hope there's an option to turn that off, because I really don't want to see that. Like, it's just, I don't know, I like that free flowing combat system in the Arkham games, but that brings me to another point. I love the fact that it's not connected to the Batman Arkham universe. I like that. I really dug that a lot. I appreciate them for going in a different direction, even though I'm kind of not sold on the gameplay just yet. But yeah, I appreciate that they went somewhere new. And I am curious to see more, especially if they show anything with the Court of Owls, because I'm like, okay, you know, call me crazy, but, well, I feel like we're all basically speculating this, and that's, I feel like Bruce Wayne, if he really is dead, he's going to be brought back by the Court of Owls, and the Bat family has to fight Bruce Wayne, which I'm like, that would be typical, but I wouldn't hate it. But hey, it is what it is. And, at least it's something new. At least, the game doesn't feel like it's based off of a comic book story, even though I'm sure there are influences and whatnot. But yeah, Gotham Knights, I'm somewhat looking forward to it. Can't really say a whole lot because I'm just like, okay, we got our first glimpse. And I'm just like, I don't really care for it all that much. I mean, looks great design-wise. And I get it, this is like, not the beta, but like pre-finished gameplay or whatever. But it is what it is. But yeah, that's all I got for Gotham Knights. And God, it's been so long since they've been teasing this game, and now that's finally happening. I will say it's very interesting that, you're going to play the Bat family going up against the Court of Owls. That's going to be very interesting. Like, I kind of like that a lot. But yeah, Gotham Knights, not 100% sold. I think the percentage for me right now is kind of like 25% of how much I'm excited for it. And it's not a whole lot because I'm just like, maybe I just need to see more. I just need to see more to be like, okay, now I want to buy it. Because I'm just like, I just feel like at the end of the day, at least right now, I would only buy it if it was on for a discount or whatever. And that's mainly it. But yeah. But here's a game I'm looking forward to, and that is Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, we didn't see any gameplay, but we did get a feel of what the character interaction is going to be between the characters, and, I'm excited for it. I do wish there was more different characters than just your Captain Boomerang, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot. I believe there's more, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's those four, possibly another one, which I can't really remember. Yeah, they're just all hanging out, and then Superman shows up. King Shark's like, Superman! And then, Superman doesn't look right. What's a guy? He just basically smashes a helicopter, has the pilot. It basically evaporates him, and it's just like, oh shit. And meanwhile, you see the whole fucking Brainiac ship, so something's going down. And what's really interesting is this is tied into the Arkham universe. Now, I didn't look into it, so I may be getting this wrong, but it supposedly takes place after the Arkham Knight, I think. Maybe. I mean, it'd be kind of weird because I'm like, I think it would be better if you had it somewhere in the... Well, then that kind of messes things up. I was going to say, why not have it in between, what's it called? In between Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Like, why not have it there? Or better yet, you could have it a few years before Arkham Asylum or so. I don't know. But if it's a continuation off of Arkham Knight, that's kind of interesting. Like, if that's the case, I would have rather, and I don't know how they would do it, I would rather have a Justice League video game placed after Arkham Knight, because it is kind of like, well, what is the Justice League? What is that character dynamic? What are they asking themselves after Batman is gone or whatever? Supposedly gone. But yeah, anyways. So, Rocksteady Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is coming out in 2022. And for next-gen consoles, which I'm like, fuck. Then again, I'm getting a PS5 regardless, because I'm like, I'm just getting it just for the design itself. I don't care if it looks like a Wi-Fi router. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for Rocksteady's new game, because I will say, when I did see the headline that they're doing a Suicide Squad game, I was like, I was kind of hoping they would go in a different direction, like maybe not, do any DC IP content or whatever. I was hoping they would do their own thing or whatever. But hey, you're telling me Rocksteady's doing a Suicide Squad game? Fuck, I'm in it. And it's going to be co-op. You know, that excites me more so than hearing that there's going to be co-op and Gotham Knights. I'm just like, oh fuck, that's amazing. And plus I'm just like, oh god, what kind of DLC characters are you going to add? Because I would personally love to see Deathstroke or Black Manta, you know, just in that sense. But yeah, I can't wait to see some gameplay, because that's going to be really, really fucking interesting when they finally drop that. The last thing from DC, well, no, actually I have two things left. Speaking of Suicide Squad, have y'all seen that roll call trailer where they show every single member of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? I gotta say, after seeing this, and it's just them announcing what characters are going to be in the movie, all I gotta say is, oh my god, this is the DC movie I'm fucking looking forward to next year. I fucking loved the obscure and deep dive characters they had. You got fucking Weasel. Like, that's amazing. Peacemaker, played by John Cena, and he's got the fucking helmet. Like, what the fuck? You got Javelin. Holy fuck, you have Javelin? What the fuck, yo? Polka Dot Man. Fucking wild. I don't know what to say to that. You also got, you got Peter Capaldi as the Thinker, and he actually looks like the Thinker from the comics and not what the Flash did with the Thinker, which now after looking that and compared it to James Gunn and what design they went with for the movie, I'm just like, how fucking hard was that? I get it, two different Thinkers or whatever, but Peter Capaldi as the Thinker, I'm like, fuck, that's genius. I fucking love that so much. I can't get over it. Like Ratcatcher 2, like, come on, like, I'm so for it. And you know, I love that they kept Amanda Waller, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. She was so great in the role. I loved it. I hope she's on screen more than anything else. I also love the fact that Rick Flag got a total fucking makeover change. Like, he's actually just gonna wear what he usually wears in the comics. It's just basically a yellow shirt and pants, and that's it. He's not gonna look like a military man or whatever. I can't wait for it, honestly. I really can't. And what makes me more excited, apparently, is there's a little screen grab from behind the scenes footage of the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I fully believe this report. Starro is gonna be the fucking main villain for the Suicide Squad. Like, bro, this is what I fucking live for as a fucking comic book fan. Doing these fucking wild, obscure fucking characters. They're gonna fucking do Starro as a villain. Like, and I did see on Twitter, you know, Starro did make an appearance in the Powerless show, which I didn't see, but I was like, man, this is not what I was expecting. But anyway, Starro as the main villain in the Suicide Squad. Because why the fuck not? If you got James Gunn, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am, because I'm like, it's fucking James Gunn. I shouldn't be surprised by this, but fucking Starro, are you kidding me? That's fucking amazing, dude. Like, oh god, I'm so ready for this movie. Like, I was excited when the first Suicide Squad was coming out. I was like, oh yeah, I like this a lot. And you know, I will say the first Suicide Squad movie I liked. You know, yeah, it had its issues, but I still dug it. But James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, oh my god, I am fucking ecstatic for it. I can't wait to see what they fucking do with it. Like, just, oh my god, I'm so ready. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And now the last thing I'll talk about from DC Fandome, and that is the Batman teaser finally released. Now, for me personally, I would say my excitement level for the Batman has been low, because I guess I'm getting to that mindset of like, oh, we're having so many Batman, and I'm just kind of feeling like might be getting Batman fatigue. But yeah, and it's like, look, I'm excited to see it, but I'm not overly excited like most people are. And Robert Pattinson as Batman, I'm like, again, I remember hearing that, just being like, I should be upset by this. But the fact that this man went into indie stuff, yeah, I approve it. And after seeing him in Good Time, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, this man was like, yeah, I'm going to do, like, smaller projects and work on my craft. And, granted, we don't really hear any lines from him till the very end. But yeah, let's just say, when this was, being talked about, I think more than anything else, I was more intrigued by the cast. I was just like, okay, Robert Pattinson as Batman? Okay. Again, should be upset about this because I was forced to fucking watch those god-awful Twilight movies. But again, indie stuff? Okay. I can appreciate it. Zoe Kravitz is going to play Catwoman? Okay. Jeffrey fucking Wright is fucking James Gordon? Hell fucking yes. Like, I will take that any fucking day. Like, yeah, why the fuck not? That's fucking perfect. Colin Firth as the Penguin? Okay, that's interesting. And then Paul Dano as the Riddler. Yeah. So the teaser comes out. I watched it, and I can't unsee the Seven inspiration. Like, I can't really unsee it, even though I'm sure it wasn't intended to be influenced by Seven, but it's just got that Seven vibe to it. I like that you do feel like it's a crime mystery sort of movie. And you know what? The suit is growing on me. The suit is really growing on me. In the beginning, I was like, it's not, again, going back to The Dark Knight, it's not, like, too tactical for me, where I'm just like, I don't really like the tactical look. But seeing it in motion, I'm just like, oh, I kind of dig this a lot. I dig it. It's not going to be my favorite Batsuit on screen, but yeah, I'm digging it a lot. I'm digging the vibe of it. It feels very different than anything else. It feels a bit dark and twisted more than anything else. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy was dark, but this feels like it's going to take it to another level. And I cannot fucking wait. I also appreciate the fact that they made Colin Firth look like the Penguin from the Arkham games. I was just like, what the fuck? You gave him prosthetics? You didn't have to, but the fact that you did, I applaud you for it. Like, holy fuck, I was definitely not expecting that. And, I also have a good feeling we're going to see the fight choreography is going to be good. We got a taste of it. And man, this Batman is brutal, and I fucking love it. He seems to be like he can move very quickly, and I love it. As long as Batman can move quickly and can fight like Batman in the comics or whatever, I'm good. And yeah, there's really not a whole lot that I don't like from this trailer, teaser, or whatever. I mean, I think anything, if I had not known that this was going to be taking place in year 2 of Batman's career, I would have said that you could totally easily get away with, other than looking at the obvious suit, but you could totally get away with this Batman being Batman who's been doing it for like 5 or 7 years. Like, you could have gone away with that, but since we know it's year 2 Batman, I mean, hey, I'm loving what I'm seeing, so I'll take it for sure. But yeah, it's very interesting. I can't wait to see more, and I'm more intrigued than anything else, honestly. I'm just like, this is very different, and I fucking love it. So yeah, can't wait to see what Matt Reeves does with it. So the last thing I have for today is a new movie that was released this weekend. And I'm sure you all know what I'm about to talk about. The New Mutants came out. The last Fox X-Men movie came out. I have been waiting oh so patiently for this movie ever since that fucking amazing first teaser trailer came out, where you get the sense that it's gonna be a horror X-Men movie. And I was like, fuck yes. Like, oh my god, I'm so great. I'm so ready for it. So the movie is basically about these new mutants who are basically in a hospital, basically trying to get better or whatever, and then scary shit happens and no one knows why. And yeah, so I will say, you know, was it worth seeing it in the theater? You know, I've come to the conclusion, was it worth seeing it in the theater? Not really, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, I enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. I literally looked at the critic review for it on Rotten Tomatoes, and it only has like 23 reviews for it, and the rating for Rotten Tomatoes is 17%. And I was so fucking like taken away by it. I was like, really? Critics aren't liking this? Like, I mean, I'll get into why some of the things I don't like, but I was very surprised. I was like, it was better than I expected. And you know what? There was one review that the headline was, this is the worst X-Men film ever. And I'm like, you are fucking out of your mind. But hey, that's your opinion, but I don't see how you think New Mutants is worse than fucking Dark Phoenix, because I don't even want to go into it. But yeah, I was very surprised how many people didn't like this movie. I was very surprised. I was just like, I mean, I would love to ask these people, is it better than you expected? Like, because I sure thought it was. Like, all I was hoping for, my expectation, and I never really go into a movie with expectation, but with New Mutants, after 2 years, all I could say was like, man, my expectation is, I hope it's okay at best. I really do. And then actually seeing it after 2 years, it's better than I expected, honestly. I mean, yeah, some of the things I really dug, I love the character dynamic between everybody, even though I feel like, who is it? The girl, the blonde head, Magic, I believe that's her name. She's making little racist jokes, and you know, that's her character. And it's not throughout the whole, like, she's really racist to the new girl or whatever, because she's native and whatnot, and it's just like, well, this is fucking uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I get it, it's kids, we say dumb shit when we're kids or whatever, but Jesus. But I get it, you know, later in the movie, you all know, you know, they're basically trapped against their will, even though they don't know it till the very end or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. All that business. But, yeah, it's alright, whatever. But, yeah, I like the character dynamics between them. I was very surprised when I looked at the runtime, and it's an hour and 30 minutes. And, yeah, when the movie starts, you know, it quickly jumps into the beginning. And then we cut to the hospital, and we're already at the hospital. And it's like, oh, okay. It kind of moves fast, but then when it slows down between the bonding of the characters, it's like, okay, this is good. And then, you know, just goes and goes, and then it's over. It's like, okay, all right, I guess, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a sweet spot for sure, but I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, really, the only negatives I have about this movie is like, I would have loved to see more bonding between the characters, just doing teenage stuff or whatever. Like, it just felt like we just got a montage and that was it, but I just like, I would like just a little bit more of the bonding between these characters, and also I wouldn't have mind more horror elements or whatever. I feel like this movie could have been, at tops, could have used another 30 minutes or so. Like, because I'll just say it, you know, I'm sure many people have said this before, but you legit know, like, what causes the horror elements within the first 10 minutes, maybe 15. Like, it's so obvious they don't even try to hide it. Like, they don't even try to build up as a mystery. I mean, they do, but it's just like, you instantly get it like that. You're like, oh, this is what's causing it. And it's like, hey, you know, shit like that doesn't bother me as much, but this was like really noticeable. It's like, okay, so that's gonna happen. And sure enough, it was. But yeah, when the horror elements do go down, it was really awesome. And it was very interesting that this movie didn't get an R rating because someone gets cut up by Maisie Williams's, she's basically, I don't know the character from the comics, so forgive me if this isn't the name, but I believe it's Wolfsbane. But Maisie Williams' Wolfsbane cuts up somebody so much so that it's like, how the fuck did this like not get an R rating just for that moment alone? Because it's very graphic, and you know, even after she cuts them up, that person is like still alive or whatever, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm surprised this moment didn't push them to an R rating. And that was the thing too. It's like, you know, I don't want to be one of those fans, those comic book fans, as like, you know, it'd be better if it was rated R. Like, no, I'm just like, you know, your rating is your rating. Your rating's not gonna make or break a movie or whatever. But I feel like New Mutants, if they had more time to do this movie, I really feel like this could have been a horror movie about the X-Men figuring out their powers or whatever. Because it can be scary. I mean, somebody has that take, whether it's in the comics, well, only in the comics. Somebody in the comics must have done a mutant or mutants figuring out their powers for the first time, and they just don't know how to harness it. You could have played more with that. So yeah, the premise could have been, what's it called? Could have like done more with itself, with those horror aspects or whatever, but they just don't, because I guess they didn't get that extra 30 minutes or so. I don't know. I just feel like a 30 more minutes wouldn't have hurt, but even at 1:30, it's still kind of nice. And yeah, I especially love the character Morningstar and Maisie Williams' character. God, I'm even forgetting her name. I think my favorite character from this movie was Maisie Williams' character. Like, you know, she's got this interesting character, and you know what she's been through ever since she like has like revealed her mutant powers. It's very interesting where her character ends up, and you know, I love the bond between, you know, I believe the actress's name is Blue Hunt, who plays Danielle Morningstar, and Maisie Williams is Wolfsbane. I believe that's the character's name. Again, forgive me if that's not the name. But I really like those two interacting a lot. It was just nice. And, you know, everybody else can be very forgettable. So there's that. Also, the main villain is the Demon Bear, which is kind of insane to me. I never read the New Mutants story that this was clearly adapted by, But yeah, I think it's the Demon Bear. Like, and it looked pretty good for CGI. Like, it looked pretty good, in my eyes at least. My favorite moment has got to be how they tie it into the other X-Men movies. It's a small moment, but when they show the reveal of how this is all connected to the X-Men movies and what's really going on, I'm just like, okay, I feel like somebody at Fox was trying to build to this character, and somebody must have had the idea, because that cannot be a coincidence. That can't just be a wink wink at the audience. I just feel like that moment just kind of feels like they were trying to build to that one character, but they're never going to do it now. And it's a damn shame, but it is what it is. I will say at the end of the day, like I said, it's better than I expected. I will say I do kind of wish there was a sequel, because I wouldn't mind it. I feel like what this movie offered, it would have been nice. It would be nice to have a sequel, but we all know that's not going to fucking happen, unfortunately. But yeah, New Mutants. Would I recommend seeing it in the theater? Unfortunately, no, but I will also say if you see it in the theater, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I mean, again, going back to that one reviewer who said this is the worst X-Men movie ever, I'm just don't, I mean, you might feel the same way, but I can't see that. But maybe you like Dark Phoenix and you might feel that the New Mutants is the worst X-Men movie ever, but I just can't see it. But yeah, New Mutants, I think it's definitely worth your time in the theater. Would I tell you to go out and watch it again? Not really. I mean, if you want to, you can rent it, because I think we all pretty much know this movie isn't going to make too much money. So, unfortunately, but hey, after 2 years, I think it was worth the wait, in my eyes at least. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the New Mutants. And that's it for Spoil Your Appetite. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, I'm Tristan, and you've just been spoiled.